Stephanie White has been named the head coach of the Indiana Fever this morning.
Do you remember when the Fever had a tough time on defense, made some puzzling substitutions, and seemed to always have bad luck with the refs? It looks like those days might be behind us. Christie has stepped aside, and a familiar face has returned. But that's not the main news here.
Huge overhaul of the organization as they move into the big time. A new team president in the door, a new general manager in the door, and now a new head coach in the door as Christie Sides was shown the door.
The real surprise? Caitlin Clark and her teammates haven't said much since Christie was let go. But now they're finally speaking out, and you won't believe their thoughts on the new coach. What changed, and why is everyone suddenly opening up? In this video, we'll discuss what this means for the Indiana Fever and how Coach White's hiring could shape the team's future in the WNBA. As we explore this team overhaul, we'll reveal its impact and how it brings the Fever closer to a championship. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Who spent the last 2 seasons with the Connecticut Sun, is an Indiana native and starred at Purdue. She was also on the Fever's coaching staff from 2011 to 2016 and was head coach for the last 2 years of that stint. She also played for the team for 4 seasons.
The Indiana Fever just experienced a week that changed everything. Christie Sides is out as head coach. You might wonder why, especially since the team made the playoffs. Let's break it down. Sides had a decent tenure, leading the Fever to a 20-win, 20-loss record and their first playoff appearance since 2016. Not bad, right? But the front office wasn't satisfied. They were focused on the bigger picture and noticed some significant issues that couldn't be overlooked. First, the defense was a disaster. The team's rotations were all over the place, and the in-game adjustments were lacking. It often felt like a high school coach was trying to compete with seasoned WNBA veterans. This lack of cohesion was costly, especially in the playoffs. In the second game against the Connecticut Sun, the Fever lost due to a poor defensive strategy at a critical moment.
While decisions like this are never easy, it's also imperative that we remain bold and assertive in our pursuit of our goals, which includes maximizing our talent and bringing another WNBA championship back to the great state, I'm putting that in because it is a great state, of Indiana. Coach Sides was an incredible representative of the Fever in our community, and we wish her nothing but success in the future. This is new Fever president of basketball operations.
So what's the solution? Enter Stephanie White, the new head coach, and she's not just any coach. White has a deep history with the Fever, having served as an assistant from 2011 to 2014 during a championship run with the legendary Tamika Catchings. After that, she became head coach for 2 seasons and even took the team to the WNBA Finals in her first year. But she's not just relying on her past success. White recently completed an impressive stint with the Connecticut Sun, where she was named the 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year. Under her leadership, the team boasted a 55-win, 25-loss record over 2 seasons, making the playoffs both years. This kind of success is exactly what front offices dream of. The Fever didn't just find a solid coach. They landed one of the best in the league.
Well, first and foremost, it's home. I mean, this is a franchise in the Indiana Fever, Indiana Pacers that's in my DNA. Grew up in Indiana, played in Indiana, played with the franchise, of course, a part of the franchise when we won the WNBA championship. And secondly, this young, exciting roster. You think about a generational player in Caitlin Clark and back-to-back Rookie of the Years with Aaliyah Boston. Kelsey Mitchell, I think, had the best year of her career. It's just an exciting roster. What an outstanding moment we have in women's basketball right now, and to come back and be a part of it in my home state with my home franchise, it's just a unique opportunity, and I'm so thankful and grateful for.
So why the change and why now? The Fever's management is serious about winning a championship, and they believe Stephanie White is the coach to help them get there. They see her potential to elevate this talented roster beyond just making the playoffs. They're aiming for rings. But there's more to the story. We've got the coach and the front office, but what about the players? That's where it gets really interesting. Before we dive into their reactions, let's take a moment to recognize the significance of this move. The Fever are making bold changes, and the WNBA should take notice. With White in charge, this team isn't just looking to compete, they're aiming to dominate. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We appreciate your time. Now, Let's get back to the action.
Look at this. She set several WNBA and rookie records during her historic first season. She was named the 2024 Rookie of the Year, of course, and her play, it really took off as the season went on, especially after the Olympic break.
Hold on, everyone. Before we dive into the player spots, there's something important you should know about Stephanie White. She's not just a coach. She's an Indiana basketball legend. Her journey feels like she was meant to lead this team. Let's take a look back at White's impressive basketball history. She's from West Lebanon, Indiana, and has deep roots in the state's basketball culture. It's like she's coming home. But this time, she's bringing a wealth of experience and a trophy case full of accomplishments. White led Purdue to its first national championship in college and even played for the Fever herself. And here's a fun fact. She wore number 22, just like Caitlin Clark. Now that's a connection.
Caitlin wasn't alone in her stellar play. Indy had an all-star trio with leading scorer Kelsey Mitchell and then the 2023 Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, as well. It was the second time in team history the Fever had 3 all-stars in a season. And that trio led the way for Indy to make their first postseason appearance since 2016.
But here's the big question. Can White bring that magic back to Indiana? The pieces are definitely in place. You've got Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent, Aaliyah Boston, dominating the paint, Kelsey Mitchell, lighting it up from everywhere, and Lexi Hull, known for her hustle and hot shooting. It's shaping up to be a dream team.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for. So I don't know if you prepare for it as much as you just embrace it, embrace where we are. Think about the momentum moving forward, where we wanted this league to be and where we still aspire for it to go. And just embrace this moment, embrace this opportunity, continue to help this team, this franchise be better, position ourselves for success.
White is clear about her vision for the Fever, saying, "This is the moment we've been waiting for." With 25 years in the WNBA under her belt, she's seen it all and is now ready to lead Indiana to new heights. Her coaching style is just what these young stars need. She knows how to unlock player potential and foster their growth. Just think about what she could achieve with talents like Clark and Boston. It's enough to get any Fever fan excited. White's return isn't just starting a new chapter, it's like opening a whole new book. She calls it an outstanding moment in women's basketball and a unique opportunity, and she's spot on. The stars are aligning in Indiana, and White is at the heart of it all.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the Fever rookie!
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
But here's the reality. The big question still remains. What do the players think about all this? We've seen the front office make their move and heard White's vision. But what's the team's reaction? Their response could really shake the future of this transition. And trust me, what happens next is going to surprise you.
Caitlin Clark has not spoke on anything. Nobody said a word about Christy Sides. Nobody. When she got fired. And the second that it was announced, Stephanie White, one of the very first comments on the Instagram post, she had noties on. Caitlin Clark Fever show, then shares the post, then retweets. Caitlin Clark had noties on.
Just when we thought the Fever's offseason couldn't get any more dramatic, the players surprised us with a curveball. After weeks of silence, they've suddenly come alive on social media. So what sparked this excitement in Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and the rest of the team? Let's take a step back. Remember when Christy Sides was fired? The team was completely quiet. Not a peep, not a tweet. It was so still, you could almost hear a basketball drop. But now, it's like someone hit the unmute button, and the Fever players are making some serious noise. What changed? 2 words. Stephanie White. The moment her hiring was announced, it was like a fire was lit under these players, and leading the charge. None other than rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Original clip. Clark didn't just react, she went all out. She was one of the first to comment on the Fever's Instagram post with an enthusiastic shout-out. But she didn't stop there. She shared the announcement on her own story and retweeted the official news. It felt like a star player fangirling over her new coach. And here's the best part. Clark wasn't alone. Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and even Alyssa Smith joined in on the excitement, lighting up Twitter and Instagram. Their energy was a stark contrast to the silence we saw after Sides was let go. So, what does this all mean? This isn't just players being polite about a new coach. This is genuine excitement. You can feel the energy radiating through the screen. These players are pumped, and they're not shy about showing it.
She's obviously called a lot of my games all throughout college, and I just think she has a really great basketball mind. I think she's done a great job calling college games. It's been great to see her on NBA games. I think what she's done is she's obviously, she's been a trailblazer, honestly. I think she's always been somebody that's been supportive of my game, and it's been fun to talk to her at shoot-arounds throughout my college career and always been really supportive.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Think about what this means for team chemistry. We have a group of players who are clearly aligned, all excited about the same thing. That kind of unity is invaluable in team sports. It sets the stage for collaboration, trust, and a strong bond on and off the court. This could be a game changer for the Fever.
The players saying absolutely nothing. Saying absolutely nothing about Christy Sides when she leaves. When Christy Sides went and got herself fired, the players don't say anything. But as soon as they assign a new coach, every single player has their noties on to congratulate the new coach.
And let's not forget that fans have noticed this shift too. They've pointed out how different the players' reactions are compared to when Sides was let go. Some even suggested that the team might not have been too happy under the previous leadership, and now it feels like a weight has been lifted from their shoulders. So, what does all this mean for next season? If the social media buzz is any indication, we could be looking at a Fever team that's more united and motivated than ever. With a coach they're excited about and a roster full of young talent, this could be the beginning of something special in Indiana. But here's the big question. Can all this online excitement translate into on-court success? That's what everyone is eager to see. One thing's for sure, under White's leadership and with players this fired up, the Indiana Fever are definitely a team to watch next season.
It's exciting. Certainly I was born and raised in Indiana, and so have a lot of pride in Indiana basketball, and a lot of pride in the Fever organization, being a player and a coach there. And it's exciting what's happening with the organization and where they are. I mean, most organizations have their ups and downs, certainly. But I'm proud of the growth of the Indiana Fever. Excited, about the future of the Indiana Fever.
The Fever have the talent and a strong coach. But here's the real surprise. Some experts believe they're just one move away from becoming unstoppable. What's the secret ingredient that could propel Indiana into WNBA superstardom? Let's talk about championships. Folks, the Indiana Fever are sitting on a gold mine of talent. You got Caitlin Clark, the phenom who's already made the All-WNBA first team. Then there's Aaliyah Boston, a former Rookie of the Year, and Kelsey Mitchell, an all-star who's been lighting up the scoreboard. And let's not forget Lexi Hull, the league's most accurate three-point shooter. That's a core that most teams would be envious of.
You in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
But here's the big question. Is that enough? The WNBA is a tough league, and every team is packed with talent. The competition is fierce, and even with Stephanie White's coaching skills, winning a championship isn't easy. Here's where it gets exciting. Free agency is just around the corner, and the Fever's front office is serious about making big moves. Can you imagine this team with one or two more star players?